welcome back to Figuring It Out. I'm Rachel Lee. Before we get into this episode, follow the show. Leave a review or send this to someone who's tired of recycled language and wants an actual conversation. All right. So let's talk about something that irritates the hell out of me. The phrase, "you're not broken." Every time I hear it, my first thought is, gee, thanks. I didn't think I was. And I know people mean well. I know it's supposed to be comforting. But sometimes it feels like we're throwing language at people instead of actually listening to what they're saying. Because I never walked around thinking I was broken. What I felt was exhausted. And there's a difference. What bothers me about "you're not broken" is that it skips right over what I'm actually trying to say. I'm not questioning my strength. I'm telling you, I'm probably at capacity. So I didn't grow up learning vulnerability. I didn't even know what that was. See previous episodes, if you will. And to be perfectly honest, I'm still learning it. What I did learn early, though, was how to handle things, the majority of the time on my own, how to read the room, how to anticipate chaos, how to brace for things that were potentially coming my way, how to fix, how to not fall apart when everyone else did. And if I did, make sure I didn't do it in public and don't tell people about it. Take all that into consideration, and then life layered on top of all that. Corporate leadership, single parent, decision maker, planner, protector. I lead at work. I lead at home. I lead emotionally. And sometimes I'm tired. Not weak. Tired. There's a difference. I don't want to stop being capable. I just don't want to be the only capable one in the room anymore. Let's be honest about something else. Discernment didn't come naturally to me either. It was learned the hard way. I've been burned by people I would have called my best friends. I've had family dynamics that taught me very clearly that access matters. I've been taken advantage of. So yes, I learned how to lock things down. I have learned who gets access, what I carry alone, what I don't. And not because I'm cold, but because I've paid for being open before. And when you're a single parent, you don't get to collapse. You don't get to experiment with instability. You don't get to say, "I'll figure it out later." There are kids watching. There are bills due. There are decisions that affect more than just you. Strong wasn't just an aesthetic. Strong was required. And this is where people get it wrong, at least for me, and probably the majority of people. They see exhaustion and translate it to fragility. But what they're actually seeing is capacity being maxed out. And then there's the judgment. "Oh, I didn't think you'd be the type of woman to have 2 kids by 2 different men." Well, Paul, I don't know exactly what that's supposed to mean, but I didn't think so either. But I don't know, then again, what exactly is that type of woman, or man for that matter? And I don't know what that was supposed to mean, but I can tell you what it felt like. Like my life choices suddenly put me in a category that I didn't apply for. And here's what people miss. Life isn't a character resume. It's a series of decisions made with the information and capacity you had at the time. But I won't pretend every chapter was executed perfectly either. And when you're judged like that, you double down on strength. You make sure everything runs, even if it isn't always smooth. Your kids are good. No one can say you didn't hold it together. That kind of pressure builds a very competent woman, and also a very tired one. And here's where this gets misread. I don't want to be rescued. I don't want to be saved. I don't want to shrink. But I would love, just once, to not be the one leading everything. I want someone to say, I got you, and mean it. Even if it's opening a door, even if it's making the plan, even if it's taking initiative without me delegating it. It's not about the door. It's about relief. It's about not scanning, not carrying the entire emotional weight of every situation. Strong women don't want to stop being strong. They want to stop being the only structure holding everything up. Here's the part that gets missed when people say, you're not broken. I always wonder, what does broken even look like? Visually, practically, like in real life. Who is that sentence actually meant for? Because most people aren't walking around thinking they're defective. They're grieving. They're overwhelmed. They're numb. They're disoriented. They know something is off, but they don't know what it is or necessarily why. They're not saying, I'm broken. They're saying, I don't feel like myself. I'm exhausted and I don't know what from. I don't recognize my reactions anymore. I feel flat and I don't know when that happened. And when you respond with, you're not broken, you don't help them understand themselves. You kind of shut the conversation down because reassurance doesn't create clarity. Language does. And if someone can't name what's happening inside them, telling them they're not broken isn't comforting. In my opinion, it's dismissive. And listen, I understand why people say it. I get that it's meant for comfort. I get that it's an umbrella phrase. Something to say when you don't exactly know what else to say. But that's exactly the problem. We're using one container for everything. Grief, exhaustion, overwhelm, confusion, loss. And last time I checked, putting everything into one container doesn't actually work. It just avoids the harder question. What is this person actually dealing with right now? And how can I help? So if I say I'm tired, don't tell me I'm not broken. I never said I was. If I say I'm exhausted, don't translate that into fragility. It's not fragility, it's capacity. And even capable people hit capacity. What I'm asking for isn't a slogan. It isn't reassurance. It's a better question. Not, are you broken? But, what are you carrying? How long have you been carrying that? And, Are you supposed to be doing all of this alone? Because when we stop flattening everything into one phrase, we can actually respond to what's real. The problem was never whether I was broken. The problem was that no one was listening closely enough. So if you take nothing else from this episode, take this. The next time someone tells you, you're not broken, here's what I want you to remember. Last time I checked, a broken crayon still colors. So yeah, you're not broken. But that was never the point. The point is that something is happening, something specific, something real. And you deserve language that helps you understand it, not phrases that skip past it. You don't need to be fixed. You don't need to be reassured. You need to be understood. And if someone can't sit with what you're actually carrying, that doesn't mean you're too much. It means the language is too small. I'm Rachel Lee, and I'll see you next time as we keep figuring it out.